Hi, everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. So this lady ended up losing a job because she was being nice to a male co-worker who wanted more, right? But because she said no, or she had somebody else in her life at the time. Now, this co-worker ended up seeing her and that person share a kiss because the person came into work to give her coffee, right? He ended up crashing out. Now, take a look at the clip that she shared.
After already being pissed about just not hearing from you ever. Like, if you have a bad day, I don't hear from you. If you have a busy day, I don't hear from you. If you're having a fucking sad day, I don't hear from you. That just stop. I see why now.
I'm just like what you're doing right now is
what I'm doing right now is because I'm pissed off that you came in trying to act like it's not a big goddamn deal, and it shouldn't be a big goddamn deal to me, knowing who I am and how that went down.
But did I tell you, yes or no, how things would be? When did I ever tell you that? Why?
Did you ever tell me?
How do you have the right to be mad who brings me coffee or who kisses me?
I don't.
So I don't deserve being screamed at over it. You literally don't. Because if you want to scream, we'll both can scream. We can both scream. Because regardless, I owe you nothing is what you said. So the fact that you can sit here and scream around me when I told you the one thing I can't stand is
I thought the one thing you would owe me is some respect, honestly. That's it.
This is me respecting you. I could have walked in and ignored you. Yes, the fuck is. What would be respecting you?
Yesterday was the disrespectful bullshit.
What? The kiss?
Have you met me?
Have you met me?
You know how I feel about you?
Yeah. Now, she further shared an apology video, which I'm going to play in the rest of the stitches. But this was the caption in the apology video, because after she posted that video, a lot of men were coming for her saying that she led the man on and she probably slept with him. So she posted the caption saying she didn't sleep with the guy. She was just being nice to the guy. Like a lot of people in the workplace, they just try to be nice to their co-workers so they can have a nice work environment. I mean, you don't want to go to work where there's like tension and so on and so forth. Okay, so just being cordial, being nice, they talk to you, you talk back, saying hello, hi, how was your weekend, and so on and so forth. Something like that, I imagine, right? So this lady's boyfriend showed up, or the guy she was talking to at the time showed up at work with a coffee for her, and that was what led to that crash out that you just saw. Because he had worked there longer than her, she ended up losing her job. This is why a lot of women are not nice in the workplace. This is why a lot of women come off as rude or mean. But it's because most of the times when women are being just nice or just friendly, they interpret it as you wanting them. Okay? So to avoid all of that, a lot of women, they're just hi, bye, and that's it. They don't want to do more.
I'm sorry, first off, about last night. That was not my best night, and I don't really have any excuses, but yeah, I'm kind of hoping you'll see it as just a bad day and not really hold it against me too much. I am sorry for bringing any of that to your feet. I get a little crazy, and especially when I start to worry about losing somebody that I care about, the amount that I care about you. But I am sorry. It's probably the 5th time I've said that. 1 second.
After already being pissed about just not hearing from you ever.
So this young lady had to endure this grown-ass man twice her age, feeling entitled to her time and energy, right? Mind you, the first thing he stated there is after already being this, meaning she already made it clear what her intentions were with him and that whatever he wants from her is never going to happen. This man got upset because she had somebody bring coffee and lunch to her workplace and kiss her. So he got upset. He said it was disrespectful because you know how I feel for you. Sir, first of all, you're not entitled. Women don't owe you nothing. Women do not owe you anything. These are the cases that we need to nip in the bud. Press charges. Take the video to HR and press charges. Men need to start learning. We've been way too nice to these men. They start pressing charges. You're going to see how they're going to leave you alone. First of all, his behavior is inappropriate in the workplace. By the tone of his voice, you would think they are married and she did some disrespectful stuff during the marriage. She's just a coworker that he took a liking to, and she already said, no, it's not happening. And now he feels disrespected because another man that she do like, have interest in, came and brought lunch for her. Am I hearing delusional? Am I hearing mental illness? Because those behaviors cannot be normal. Not just that, stop letting men know that they are not entitled to your time and energy if you don't have any interest in them. Stop appeasing their ego. Press charges. Walk with pepper spray and tasers. Okay? They need to learn. Because if not, you will forever be a victim. There is no need for her to put up with that at her workplace. Take that video to HR immediately.
I'm just not hearing from you ever. Like, if you have a bad day, I don't hear from you. If you have a busy day, I don't hear from you.
She does not owe you a fucking explanation. One of my favorite quotes from my dude, Big Ol' Texan. Unless you are feeding me, funding me, or feeding me, you have no say in my life. None whatsoever. This young woman worked with a much older man who felt he had priority over her life. He got pissy that she wasn't answering him back, that she wasn't texting him and letting him know how her day went. She wasn't calling him every single day. And then her actual partner showed up at her work, brought her coffee, and gave her a kiss, and this man had a fucking toddler tantrum. Watch the rest of that video because she handles it like a queen. And she puts him in his place, and when that happens, he does what all controlling narcissists do. He flips it around and starts playing the victim to her. First he tries to intimidate her, and when that doesn't happen because she's a badass, he turns it around and starts playing the victim because that's what they all fucking do. When it goes from them, when the demanding doesn't work, then they do the, well, I guess, shut up. It doesn't work. See yourself out. My absolute respect to this woman because she handled it like a badass queen. We need more women like this that stand up because maybe it'll put them in place when they don't get their way. Too bad. You don't have a say over her life, dude. Just because you like her does not mean you have a say over her life. And my absolute respect to this woman. Good for you, girl.
I reported my coworker to HR for assault. They came back with me and they were like, oh, our investigation is concluded and that's it. They said the results are confidential. We can't tell you what's going to happen. I'm like, are you going to let him go? They're like, we can't tell you that. A month later, I get laid off. And I just felt like that was such a coincidence that there was no way that this was not retaliation. So that was my first thought. My first thought is they are retaliating against me for reporting him to HR. Because the thing is, this coworker was childhood best friends with the director of engineering. And I had been warned not to say anything because it was not going to go my way. But after having to see this coworker again and again and seeing him around other women, I just got this weird feeling and I was like, I need to report him. And I went back to them in email telling them this is retaliation. They told me that they had evidence that they were planning to lay me off months before I even came up to them. And honestly, I don't know that that was true, but they could have created a paper trail to make it true. So without any evidence, no lawyer would take my case.
Being pissed about just not hearing from you ever.
Okay, so I'm not blaming the girl, but is there a reason we're talking to this unhinged lunatic instead of calling the police? Because I explained it to you. I said no, it meant no. Me kissing another guy when you and I are not dating is none of your business. The fact that you watch that shit too is just gross and creepy and weird. This is going right to HR, and I'm gonna give the option, fire him, or I'm placing a restraining order against him. And I'm gonna go ahead and apply for that CC because, Fish, too many women end up getting dealt with because of situations like this where men don't understand the word no and they think they're entitled to something just because they're attracted to something. Newsflash, all right? Me and my partner are attracted to each other. That's why we're together. That's why it works. But if I wasn't attracted to him or he wasn't attracted to me, guess what? Nothing's gonna happen between us because, believe it or not, the other person has to reciprocate your feelings. It's not always about you. But when it comes to this girl, I'm not blaming her, but me and him ain't talking about Jack. I'm calling the fin cops if you don't get away from me. There is no discussing this. There is no, I have been respecting you. Oh, I don't hear from you. I'm already mad about it. I don't owe you my goddamn time, dude. And you see, this right here, this just screams that Walmart situation, no, not Walmart, Walgreens situation, where that poor girl ended up being ended because some dude couldn't take the word no. And people weren't taking it seriously. No, dude, you see, this dude would have got pepper sprayed around with my crazy ass. The minute guys give me this vibe, I get scared because I've had too many weird ass dudes act like this. Oh my God. Like, no. Why are we talking to him? Why are we explaining shit to him? I saw you kissing someone and that was disrespectful. Cool. Hold that thought. Yeah, hey, HR, we need to talk, like, now. Like, why are we talking to him? Why are we interacting with him? Why are we giving him the satisfaction of, like, trying to sit there and explain anything? Explain what? You don't owe anybody an explanation when it comes to your attraction to them or not. And this be the same dudes that get their fifis hurt when they force you to explain why you're not attracted to them. I've had a few guys try to hit on me and I had to just basically tell them, look, you're just physically not my type. But we like the same thing, so I am your type. I'm not attracted to you. How can you not be attracted to me? And then when I told them exactly why, one of them, I just flat out told him, I said, okay, fine, I'll tell you why. And he like, you're mean. And he starts flipping out and calling me all kinds of names because he didn't like the answer. Again, I'm not explaining shit to this grown-ass man, baby. I am calling HR and I am telling them to deal with this or I will. No, we're not talking. We're not having a conversation, Looney.
You're not going to like what I'm about to say, but I'm going to say it because it's the truth. You are dumb if you go to HR at your company. On this app, I see people talking about how they went to HR and they're uncomfortable because of this boss or this employee. Shortly after, they get fired or laid off. And the reason is because HR is not your friend. HR has never been your friend. It's their job to protect the company, not you. Another thing, a lot of people will do surveys on their managers or their managers' managers. They think that it's anonymous. Nothing is anonymous. And anything you submit to HR in an anonymous way is never anonymous. So please don't be fooled by this, and please stop going to your HR department if you have a problem. Better off talking to an employment lawyer or just sucking it.
Something I wasn't prepared for when I entered the workforce, but I had to learn very quickly, was learning how to deal with men's sexual advances at work, especially if they're your superior. But mainly it's learning how to do it without having the male become like super vindictive against you when you reject them, because males are already very sensitive to rejection in general. So if their mind already isn't there enough to not sexually advance someone at their workplace, then you have to go about rejecting them in a very delicate and subtle way. Otherwise, they will either flip out on you overtly, get you fired, not give you opportunities, especially if they're your superior. Just small petty workplace things that can go on, or that can become bigger problems. So that's something, like, when you learn how to navigate with it, it's like it's manageable but still not desirable. That's why entrepreneurship for women that are attractive is ideal. But dealing with it is very hard, very difficult. It's definitely a skill. Yeah, that's all I got. It's just a lot to deal with. It's a lot.
I know I've shared a video a couple of years ago about being an introvert at work. You can check that video out. Just being nice can cost you your job. You clock in, you clock out, you're just trying to be nice, you want to get along with people. I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that. I'm not like that, but I don't see anything wrong with just, oh, hi, how was your weekend? Maybe sharing a joke here and there. And I'm not saying men are the only ones who do that, because I think I've seen another video that I saw people talking about a few months ago of this lady who was also doing too much with her male co-workers, feeding him pineapples, and you could tell the guy was not having it. And there are some women who also enjoy doing that. They want to be the work wife, and there are some men who wants to be the work husband, and so on and so forth. And most of the times they do that with the younger employees. Okay, when they see a young woman who comes into the work, they think they stand a chance with her. They will do anything. They'll start being nice. They'll start, bringing her gifts or little coffees, giving her breaks, giving her leave, and so on and so forth. I've been there. Like they try to be nice to you, give you the spot in the workplace that is nicer, just give you little favors because they want access. All right. There you say no. When the moment you say no, everything changes. Everything changes. Or they see you talking to somebody else who is maybe in your age mate. Oh, everything will change. You realize that it wasn't because they were just being nice. It was because they wanted something more. Maybe they will say, sometimes they say it, other times they don't say it. Hoping that all these gestures that they are doing for you will get you to a place where you see them in that light. They are buttering you up. They are buttering you up somehow, so that when they hit you with that, you can't say no, you give them a chance or something like that. But these things happen a lot, so don't play about with your boundaries. This has been there. It's sad that as women, we have to go through things like this, but these things happen a lot more than people report or talk about, but it happens a lot to a lot of women. Okay, so yeah, just like I said before, boundaries. If the other lady is saying let them down slowly, it doesn't work like that. They will still become a target. If you have any tips on how to deal with things like this, let us know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in another one. Take care of yourselves and one another. Bye.